Hello everyone, it's your favorite FGC VTuber. For those of you who are new, this you guys can see inside the video, we're going to be talking about Star Wars. This is actually new to the series, so welcome those who are new and also welcome those who already are part of the channel. For those who don't know, I'm primarily a gaming channel. I've done commentary for fighting games and I also competed. But anyways, there you go, a bit of a synopsis you guys can see from the channel. But normally I don't do videos like this, and the whole thing that actually got me to start doing this was, by the way, check out Critical Drinker. This is part of the inspiration, but was actually the Ghostbusters 2016 review. I might reference this every now and then for the video. That basically, I mean, I won't get too into this some politics, this and that, but people are mad at him for basically saying, "Oh, I don't want to review and this, whatever." But you know, I thought it was a good idea. Like, why don't I talk about reasons or things I don't watch or why I don't watch them? Hence, this is going to be the first episode of it. And I thought, what better than one of my favorite series of all time? So I am definitely a Star Wars fan. I watched all the movies, of course, a shit ton. I actually first started watching them when I was like super small. So yeah, I come from a very similar place, and I will go into a bit more detail as to why specifically I don't watch Star Wars anymore at all or get involved in the IP. So we can just put this away. But yeah, that was the inspiration for what this series is. And of course, some of the things that Critical Drinker has made. Now, I do also kind of do video game reviews, but it's a whole nother topic on its own. Hopefully I didn't go on too long, but that you guys have a context. Now, I wouldn't say I'm the most review or super crazy. I mean, right now there's no script or anything. That's just kind of how I do. I much prefer I have a layout, which I was gonna have for this, but you know what? Fuck it, we'll wing it. But with that being said, yeah, okay, so you see my VTuber. And shoutouts if you know who this character is. Those who do know, then you know exactly where I'm coming from. That being said, let's get straight out the bat. Is that so a huge reason I don't really do reviews for movies or shows is due to the fact that I'm primarily game focused, and I don't know, I mean, there's a reason I'm playing this in the background. I'm just too lazy to do crap like this. You can only do so much stuff, right? I feel the overall quality of movies and video games has gone down, especially over in the West. I mean, that's really it. I mean, I might do one for that separate, for sure. But I felt like doing Star Wars was a much stronger start, right? So, and also, I'll even get to that when we get to the video. But again, going back to the whole Star Wars thing, so like I said, I'm a huge fan of the movies. I started actually with the prequels, went to the sequels, read some of the comics, novels, played, of course, a lot of the video games. But yeah, I'm a super hardcore Star Wars fan. I wouldn't be I owe a lot of what I do today. It's actually one of the first franchises I really got into. I think I was like maybe 8 when I first got, besides maybe Spider-Man, and that's a whole nother story, honestly. What made me stop caring about Star Wars, right? So I want to start off by saying one of the main reasons I love Star Wars is the fact that, you know, I love the subtle themes of like you know, the Force and everything. It's basically just Buddhism. And then of course the lightsaber fights. So at the end of the day, the number one thing that really got me, besides just okay the themes, you know, I love the sci-fi aesthetic, but the number one thing that got me in, and it's still my favorite thing to this day, is the fucking lightsabers. As Asmongold once said, who the fuck cares about anything but the Jedis? And I get that sentiment. You know, I feel like you can still build a decent story around, and it helps build up the Jedis even more, but I feel like the Jedi should be kind of like the giant of the whole thing. Like all the little people are there to set up for the Jedi, but that's just me. It's whatever. But again, why? So we get, okay, we like it, whatever. I won't get too much into it. Again, sorry, there'll be timestamps below, by the way. Hopefully, maybe. We'll see. But why do I no longer watch Star Wars, right? Good examples, you get to see things like the Acolyte. You know, it's probably going to be in the thumbnail or something. And of course, or even the Baby Yoda show. I forgot. What is he like? Call it the Baby Yoda. That was the only one I was mildly interested in. But I actually stopped caring way before then. The second the new movie came out, I immediately lost interest. So one of the reasons why I personally don't like any of the new stuff, I call it the second Disney bought them, right? Let's say pre-Disney and after Disney, is the quality is nowhere near the same. This isn't really a secret. I feel the only people who really like new Star Wars stuff are like super mega normies. Not that there's anything wrong with that. If you enjoy it, that's fine. I should also mention that. Like, you're allowed to like different things, even if they're bad. Like, look, I like Mortal Kombat vs. DC. That game is trash. But to me, as a fan, I think Star Wars does not meet my expectations. And also, as I think from what I've seen, again, Critical Drinker, one of the best people who actually criticizes it, from an objective standpoint, it's not great. And I mean, the story writing is everywhere. The choreography is, I mean, you can even see it just like right there. It just doesn't look like great. It's like, what's going on? There's so many intricate details that are just off from an objective standpoint. But from all those, I think one of the main things I want to personally get that you could say is, oh, right there, the fight scenes are just trash. I'm gonna be honest. Like the fight choreography, it's like the people don't understand what makes a good lightsaber fight. I mean, heck, better yet, I might put it somewhere. Check out the, here, I'll put it right here. I think it's called Star Wars, what's it called? Wars Legends or something. And you just see that, this is something that when they handed over to Japan. Here you go. I'll put it in the back. Hopefully I don't get copyright strike. Yeah, I'll put it like this. Yeah, like the everything's just so super cool. Like new Star Wars is not badass. It lacks a lot of the badass that and again, even this one pays tradition or homage because one of the inspirations was again like old samurai films. Whereas Star Wars, the new people they don't seem to really understand what Star Wars is actually about, you know, or what its inspirations are. And I think that's what the final thing I want to get at here is the real reason, like what was the immediate giveaway that I'm like, I'm not going to fuck with this, is the second George Lucas hand over the rights to Disney. Like, if anyone doesn't know, like when it comes to a lot of things, you're going to see this trend for certain things, right? When I do other episodes, when the original author is gone or replaced, the vision is lost. Like a lot of what made that thing its thing is gone. You will see it all. Like if you know, you just straight up know. If you don't, well, I mean, Star Wars is a good example. I mean, here, like I said, again, like I was saying with the inspirations, like the people who do it only look at Star Wars from a standpoint, like, oh my god, it's about good versus evil, and then they got some lightsabers, and then some quirky characters, you know, it's like maybe like that meme, like, oh, what do you think it is, and what it actually is. You got the lore song, which is literally Star Wars. There's deep lore. There's a lot more than just simply all good evil, and even though technically that's what the light and dark side is, it's actually a lot deeper than that. But you wouldn't know that if you only watch the movies, fun fact. And of course, the way the fights are, there's a rhythm to them. Again, I think it's just, I mean, personally, I love the old ones way more. But again, if you don't know these influences and you don't really understand what Star Wars is about, how can you hope to make a faithful recreation, right? And at the end of the day, this is the bigger problem, is these people aren't even fans. Again, they're Omega casual normies. When they say stupid shit like the Force is this or that, it's like they don't get it. The core problem is the people who they put to direct these things don't get Star Wars. They just straight up don't. But even if you say you do, the bigger problem is, like, I think these people just aren't good directors, you know? And like, so look at that. That was badass as hell. I don't think you've seen anything that cool in any other Star Wars. And then again, look at the uniqueness. Like, they've taken advantage. Like, oh, let's do something different. It's weird that the animations of Star Wars are far better than like 90% of the, you know, live action. And also it's kind of a Warhammer aspect where it's like, oh, we're just gonna take everything, which is super crazy. I don't know if any of this is technically canon. I mean, it could be. I don't see why not. Like, they actually understand how flexible things in Star Wars are. I mean, look at this. Oh, lightsaber whips kind of thing. And by the way, lightsabers actually used to have a backpack and attach it because that was the battery. But no, again, you wouldn't know that if you're not a super hardcore Star Wars fan. So I mean, the biggest thing is, if you're like a super normie, like, there is no real conversation to be had here. You don't really enjoy Star Wars for the same reasons I do and a lot of other fans, so you just might not get it. But I mean, my whole point is not really to try to convince people, just to change their mind, whatever. It's just, again, why I personally don't watch Star Wars and never cared, nor will you ever really see videos on here about that. Yeah, no, they're just not cool, not badass. But at the end of the day, like I said, with the second George Lucas handed over the rights, I was like, it's not gonna be the same. This happens with, like, example, Naruto, Boruto's garbage, fucking, I forgot what other IP. I mean, just look at any video game. Like, Call of Duty hasn't been the same as the original because the directors are gone. Same with Resident Evil, the original director's gone. You notice this trend in anything. If you ever wonder why something kind of different, again, going back to Ghostbusters, if I'm not mistaken, I'm gonna go with it, the original director's gone. So the vision of what made that show so good isn't there. It's like basically being in a cook. Imagine being a cook, right? Or you're in a kitchen. Imagine not only is the cook kind of gone, it doesn't even make it the ingredient. Let's say there's a special ingredient and that's what gave it its flavor. If you take away that special ingredient, it's not gonna taste the same. The only I mean, yeah, no, that's really the best, shortest way to put it. Simple here. But let's get into a bit more slight detail also, just as a overall general sense. And we see this consistently all the time, by the way, that again, that they don't really seem to get what Star Wars is about, and they're just super lame. I feel like I'm kind of repeating myself in a lot of senses. I wish I had a layout and a schedule. Also, they haven't really made any games. I will say though, Jedi Survivor, I think it could be, Fallen Order, those are actually really good games, and those feel Star Wars, so it's not like they're not incapable of it. Like, if you let people actually be in charge, and there's a great video, I forgot, you can check it out. It says why movies are terrible, and the core problem is, you can see this here, is that they just hire old directors, like, oh, okay, like Zack Snyder. There's a reason Batman vs DC was not a good film, right? He's not a Marvel fan, he's just a director, and he's kind of been there, done that. And the problem is they don't want to hire new young people, and most importantly, fans. There's a reason the animations are always better, because they don't care as much or take animation as serious here in the West, whereas in Japan they do. And over here they hand it to whatever. And we're going to do in my Marvel episode why Marvel fails. But their animation, well, it used to be far better, because they actually let new people get the realm. And on top of that, they're fans. They understand what the source material is, which is why Star Wars animations have pretty much always been slaps. They've been Star Wars fans, instead of just random ass people who have no idea or interest into the IP and just simply want to make money. Again, common trend we see in the video game industry. Same with Boruto/Naruto. They only continue it because Naruto's a moneymaker. If the original creator, dude, go check out what Naruto was originally going to be. Crazy fucking story. But yeah, corporates is a huge part of what ruins everything. But yeah, I mean, that's the funny thing. Like this, and here's the thing. Here's the story too. How I knew I was right. Wasn't gonna watch the new Star Wars movie. My brother, dad, and sister went to go, and they're like, "Oh, we should watch it." I was like, "Oh, George Lucas isn't making that shit's gonna be sure." It's like, "Oh, you're tripping. You're tripping." They went and watched it, came back, and they're like, "You were fucking right. I fucking told you." Like I seen it from a mile away, and every time I keep hearing any news, I'm like, "Yep, I knew it. I knew it." It's why you'll never see more videos. Like this is probably the only time you see me talk about Star Wars outside of glazing a game specifically, outside of this show as well. But yeah, no, just freaking. Yeah, that's all I really got to say. I just don't care to engage in discussion. Clearly, there are people who don't care. I mean, there might be elements here and there, but to me, this is the kind of mentality. And I heard that they were bringing Lucas back, and the mentality is that, oh, we're gonna just retcon everything from the sequels, which I am 100% with. You know, as far as I'm concerned, like the second the news come, I call it they retcon the comics, which is funny. But in my mind, I'm like, no, the comics are canon. Anything Disney makes is retconned in my mind, or it doesn't exist. That's how I just don't care. It just isn't cool. Who gives a shit? Also, they're kind of idiots. They don't really understand what they're doing. But to finally put it, you guys see all this badass stuff. You guys who do know, and that's what it is. At the end of the day, it's just something I'm not interested in. Going back to the whole Ghostbusters review, they were saying all these things, dude. At the end of the day, as someone who's a fan, I'm not very interested in a reboot, right? For Ghostbusters, right? For me, I'm not interested in something not made by George Lucas. And there's gonna be two other ones, like I said, we'll cover Lord of the Rings and Marvel. But here you go. You guys want to see why? Like a good example. Let me show you one of the most badass trailers of all time. And mind you, so the character where you're seeing right now is Starkiller, which apparently, quote, is not canon. And crazy. Highly recommend you play the game. And you will see right now, this alone is cooler than anything Disney Marvel has ever put out. Minus what we saw. No, even then, it's still cooler than this shit. Mind you, this is a game. The sound design, baby. I always go back to this every time.
Obey me, or she dies, apprentice.
That's so fucking cool. Look at that shit. And it's funny because when I seen in the movie, they kind of try to make the main character, they do something like, oh, look how badass they can carry a shit more than the OG. And it's literally, like I said, part of the problem is people are lame, no offense. Like they're like not the cool kind of nerds. Like, look at how he disappeared, the noise, everything's gone. That's just all whatever. And there's even lore behind it too. I won't get too into it. But they're here, oh my god, they're still focused on like the prequels or the sequel, or you know, the regular ones. And they're like, oh my god, oh, we can lift more rocks. And it's like, somehow it's supposed to be more impressive than what happened, and oh, stronger than Luke Skywalker. But it somehow looks lamer. Like, I can't stress enough that at the end of the day, you just put lame people in charge, and they have no idea. Like, that's the core problem, is they're just lame people that don't know what cool is. And if you do put something cool, they cringe at it. Like, oh my god, blood, oh, gore, oh, that's too fast. It's like, y'all are fucking bitches, dude. But yeah, that's all my thoughts I have. I mean, I can't criticize too much about, like, I don't give a fuck about the Acolyte. I mean, Baby Yoda was cool, and the most interesting thing about that, I literally, I swear to God, I have not given Disney a single fucking dollar for Star Wars anything, basically. Because I already own so much Star Wars shit. I mean, I could own more, if we're being honest here. But I mean, like, as far as video games and stuff, I think I still gotta buy the DLC for The Force Unleashed. So, that's the thing. Well, the second one, I think. But yeah, that's all I got to say. Sorry if it rambled on a wee biz, my first episode. Hopefully second episode will be a lot better. But yeah, for those that were curious, yeah, no, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but only the original. I mean, to like, no, I am an original Star Wars fan. I don't touch Disney Marvel. But with that being said, I mean, let me know in the comments below why you guys don't watch. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I would say there's probably gonna be people being weird too about it. It's just like, look, bro, that's just trash if you're a fan. And again, if you're like it, a power to you. Like in the wise words of I think, what was it, Eris or oh my bad, Imagine Obama. Some people just like the shit of taste in their mouth. Catch you guys later on the next video. Feel free to check out all my other reviews and whatnot I do here. We have Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. That's 2 hours long, far more in detail than this. But yeah.